No.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fingerboards podcast. We're with Mike Schneider.
Hey guys, what's up?
Very special episode.
Yeah.
Special edition.
I guess this is live, so the audio quality is either going to be
terrible,
bad, or okay.
Or, decent. It could be.
Could be pretty sweet.
It could be sweet. I think it's going to be sweet.
It's going to have a more realistic feel.
Exactly, aesthetic.
It's like you're here sitting with us.
Exactly.
So, we've whipped up a couple questions.
On the fly, just now.
A lot of them.
Unprepared.
With help from Jay, Mike,
hey,
and John.
Hey. And Isaac.
Yeah.
That's true.
So, a couple of them we threw in, a couple of them they had ideas for. So the first one we have is, do you ever plan on making pure urethane wheels?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Shit.
Because oak wheels, in my opinion, they nailed it really, really well.
Yeah,
and they've been doing it,
too.
They're the ones who, figured that out, how to do it well, and he's really passionate about that, and he makes them awesome. So, I support oak wheels, I sell them on my website. So I think those are personally my favorite urethane wheels. And then there's some other people out there making some too. So if you don't like oaks, there's similar ones. But I prefer just the regular wheels that aren't urethane because to me they're easier to do tricks with and stuff. So that's what I stick with. And I guess that's my specialty. And then urethane's oak's specialty. And then we have a collab wheel too.
Yeah,
which is
dude, that's
urethane on the
sick.
outside and the FlatFace on the inside. It's like a dual durometer.
And you've got the dual durometer urethane and FlatFace core.
Yeah,
that shit's cool too.
When did you come out with those? Those are
they're pretty new, right? Yeah.
That was before VU 25, right?
Yeah.
A couple months before,
Must
maybe?
have been something around then.
Yeah.
Maybe it was when he came here. Yeah, it was when he came here, so it was April. It was around the rendezvous. And they sold out in one day. Then I got another stock and they sold out in one day. And now I got more. They're about to go on the site, so watch out, guys.
On the topic of the dual durometers, what made you want to create the regular plastic dual durometers?
I don't exactly remember actually why I made them, but it was kind of just an idea that was floating around for a while, and then I think one day I was just thinking, I was like, oh, I just figured out how to make them, let's do this, because I was always trying to think, what's the best way to actually design that'll, work good and be special and stuff. So basically, the inside and the outside are generally, either harder or softer, so they all have, a different combined feel. Each of the colorways has its own feeling.
Oh, so each of them is different?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Was, certain colors are a little softer, a little bit harder?
The
Holy
turquoise.
Shit, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's a little hidden gem.
That's sick. Wow.
So the white's right in the middle, the gold, the O material is harder, the turquoise is a little bit softer than the white, and the black is a little softer than the turquoise.
Wow.
And then the red is kind of like the turquoise.
That's pretty
It's a little
sick.
bit soft. Yeah.
What do you think about kids coring them?
Well, not just kids, everyone does it.
Well,
everyone cores wheels.
Yeah, kids and adults. You can be any age and you can core your wheels. I thought it was kind of goofy. I understand people want to have small wheels that are used skate wheels or whatever, but personally I don't think they perform that good when they're that tiny, and not to mention you got a little ridge on there.
You get a lot less pop.
Yeah, but I don't care if people do it, but I'm not gonna sell them. Kids ask me to sell them, hey, can you just sell me cores? I'm nah, I just have the finished assembled wheels. That's I don't want to sell anything that I don't think is perfect and that's gonna perform good, so I just think it's if you want to do it, go for it and enjoy it.
Untapped market. Maybe I should start buying them and coring them.
You could. I don't know if
sell
you'd
them at
make
a
much
loss.
off it, but
Probably not. I think I'd probably be losing money.
yeah.
You would.
Hey, it's half the wheel, so it's half the price, but I paid full price, dude.
So this isn't working out.
Yeah, the dual duros are pretty expensive to make too, so it's it's tricky, but
They're good
definitely
wheels, though.
worth it. Yeah.
What is your favorite fingerboard deck that isn't your own?
Wow.
Your favorite deck company. Well, one of them.
I don't know, just a broad sense.
Well, I love Berlin Woods. I've been using those a lot for a long time, since forever ago. Berlin Wood was my favorite board from another company that I got way back in the day, and I've had probably 100 of them.
Oh shit.
Lately, I set up a Finga, and it was super, super good. And I was like almost surprised at how much I liked it because it wasn't just a good board; it was like really, really good. So I've been using that a bunch, and I set up another one. So I got 2 of those set ups. Like I use my own boards just because I made them to my like preference, so they're my favorite.
Right.
But there's a lot of other boards that I'll use, like Berlin Woods, Fingas, like pretty much anything good. Like they all have different shapes, so they're all fun to use. Like you kind of feel like, oh, I'm in the mood to use this board today or that board, or like I want something mellow or steep or whatever. So there's lots of good stuff out there.
What was your first sponsor?
My first sponsor, dude, that's a good one. It was dang, I can see it right now. What the heck? I think it started with an A. Well, anyways, it was on the Tech Deck forums, and it was a graphic company. And so what they did was, if you got sponsored by them, they would make you a graphic, like in Microsoft Paint, and then you would print it out on sticker paper and stick it on your Tech Deck. And do I have one up there? I think I have one at my parents' house somewhere. I'm blanking on the name right now, but anyways, it's nothing anyone here would have heard about because it was really random, but I was so excited about it. It was just like, oh my god, I'm sponsored, this is sweet.
Shit.
Yeah, I think I had my own sticker graphic company like that.
That's awesome.
At one time.
Pretty dope.
Early on.
Avalanche, that's the name.
Avalanche?
Avalanche
Yeah,
Fingerboards.
I have no
But it was
idea. No
it
idea.
was just they made you a graphic and you print it yourself. Like,
That's kind of cool.
yeah, it was interesting.
So, talking about like first stuff, like how long did it take you to learn your first ollie? Do you even remember that? Like
I don't quite remember because basically, like, me and my friends would fingerboard. It was 4th grade, and like we started with 3 fingers, and we'd be just like flipping them around, and then gradually getting more control over
That's what
them.
I used to do.
Yeah, exactly. And like we'd stay in from recess just to fingerboard like in the class, and like we'd build stuff out of books, and like I remember doing like 3-fingered burial flips and stuff like that, and then like at some point I changed over to 2 fingers, and like I've always been really good at burial flips because I learned them like before kick flips, so I can do like burial flips.
I think everyone's that way because you and I have learned
burials
kickflips
seem
before
easier.
kickflips.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see a lot of people learning. They just kind of like get that spinning motion off their back finger a little
It
bit.
took me a really long time to figure out like how my middle finger needed to be to get like a straight kickflip.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't remember learning all these specifically. I just remember doing a lot of aerials.
Did you ever take like a break from fingerboarding?
Yeah, I did actually. So I took a break like probably a couple months or so. And this is actually really dumb, but like the thing that got me back into it, I was like, wow, you know what? I think I could get a sponsor in this if I tried fingerboarding again. So like basically I fingerboarded a few months and then I stopped and I was like, you know what? I want to get sponsored. And for some reason that's what made me pick it back up. And then like I didn't really fingerboard for sponsors or anything like that, but like
It was just motivation to keep
it was
you going.
motivation like for a second, and then I realized like, dude, fingerboarding is just fun regardless of if you're sponsored or not. Like, oh cool, I got this graphic sponsor, awesome, but like nothing's different when you get a sponsor, really.
Right.
It's like you're still.
It's the same.
If
hobby.
you like fingerboarding, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And that's it. Like
a sponsor's not going to change that.
Right. So a lot of people are like asking for sponsors, like a lot of little kids, because it's like a cool thing and it sounds awesome.
But nothing's going to change.
Yeah, it doesn't really do much. I mean, it could introduce you to like whoever sponsored you or like the team. Like you might like meet different people, but you can meet them anyways. Like I don't know, sponsoring, it doesn't really do anything in that sense. Like you're gonna have just as much fun without it.
Yeah.
That was a good intro into the next question of kids asking for like sponsorships or free stuff online. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think it's mostly harmless. It's just mostly younger kids like, hey, can you send me a free board? Like they don't really know what's going on. They don't realize like that we have to make the board for it to exist, and we have to pay for the materials,
Yeah.
and it takes time to make it, and like they're not the only one asking. Like maybe if only one person ever asked me for a board, I'd like hook them up. Like
But then
I
you'd have to
my
hook
friends.
everyone up.
Yeah, but it's like if 6,000 kids in the last year asked for a board, like I can't even give one board out because then it's just not even fair.
Exactly.
So, I mean, kids can ask, but they're probably not going to get a free board by just asking. And then what was the other one? Sponsors? Like
Yeah.
asking to be sponsored. Well, like at least with FlatFace, I sponsor people that like I already know they exist and like maybe I like what they're doing and stuff like that. And I feel like most sponsorships kind of work like that. Like they'll come to you if they want to sponsor you. You rarely come to someone else and say, hey, please sponsor me. Like sometimes it may work if you're super, super good and you have this crazy video and you're like, hey, I'm just looking for a sponsor. But unless you're like, you got to kind of stand out to do it that way. But ideally, like, do your own thing in Fingerboard, like, make your videos or go to events and stuff, and then people will notice you, and, like, you'll
get
probably...
your name and get your face out there.
Yeah. Somebody's going to come up to you, and you're going to be talking to them, and then, like, you might not even know that they own a company, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, hey, I make these boards, like, do you want to ride for my team? Like, it'll just happen naturally. You can get sponsors, but don't try to get sponsors.
Yeah. I was going to say something, but I forgot what I was going to say. Moving on, I guess. Is a G16 in the works?
There's no such thing as a G16. Right now, the G15 is like, just the board. I'm pretty satisfied with. Like, I made it. Basically, I was making G14s for a long time, and then like, as I would hand shape them for me and my friends, like the design would evolve a little, and I would drill the holes a little different. And then I was like, all right, I want to change a little bit about it. And I changed the mold a little bit, and I kept making them like just by hand, and like what it evolved into. At one point, I was like, all right, this is like the new perfect like board to me.
So you think the G15 is the pinnacle of the G series?
Not forever, but for a while.
Yeah.
Like for now, it's perfect. I'm sure it'll like as I keep making them, it'll evolve more, and then who knows? There might be a G16 in a couple of years, but not right now.
No, it's not in the future plans, long term. No.
What? What you said just made no sense.
What?
Question.
It's in the future. Like,
Well, they all know that we're lying and it's in the works. No, it's not in the works.
Was this like Half-Life 3? Like everybody's waiting now?
No, yeah. It'll happen eventually, because when I had G14s, I was like, there's no G15. There's not going to be like, this is perfect. And then eventually it was like, oh, no way. Like, I think I just made a G15. It's going to happen.
Everything's getting like wider and wider.
Yeah, I'm not going to go any wider. Like, they're so wide, they're already almost circles. Like, I have a 50 millimeter board, and that thing is nuts. Like, no one needs to use that. That can't be released.
Yeah, with the dynamics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Like, it's a 2-to-1 ratio. It's 50 wide, 100 long. And
That's insane.
It's ridiculous. But the thing is, you can do tricks with it still.
Easily?
Yeah.
You could just do like 1,000 shove-its.
Like, I could do like kickflip, back tail, 3 shove out if I wanted. Like,
Holy
not
shit.
that hard. Prove it. But nobody needs to use that, because that's not the shape of a skateboard even. It's just a circle at that point, or like
It's a balance board.
Balance board.
A finger balance board.
So what other hobbies do you have, like, besides fingerboarding? I mean, I guess for you, fingerboarding is more of a career. But, like, what other hobbies do you have?
They're top secret. I can't tell you.
Oh, you can't tell me?
No.
Shit. CIA and stuff, huh?
Yeah, exactly. But,
I mean, skating.
I love skateboarding. I love all kinds of camera stuff, like photo and video kinds of things. Like, it's all related to fingerboarding, but then it doesn't have to be. You can do it with whatever else.
It stems from fingerboarding?
Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, fingerboarding and skateboarding is a lot of what I do. And then, like, I used to be super into computers when I was younger and stuff, but now I just, like, go with the flow. I'm not, like, into the latest and greatest, except for cameras. Like, I love camera technology and, like, I don't know, I guess, like, learning, as weird as that sounds, I like learning about just, like, random anything.
Just new shit that's happening. Just what's going on.
Just, like, how things work really fascinates me and always has. How things are made, like, put together, invented, like, just random, I don't know, like, learning about stuff. And I like nature and food and stuff. Like, I really like food a lot. Like, some people, they just stick with, like, eating like a burger and fries every day and like pizza, but like I like to eat crazy foods, like any ethnicity of food.
So like fermented rotten fish?
Surströmming. I'm gonna try it one day. I haven't gotten it yet, but yeah. I like a lot of ethnic foods and stuff. Like I had like Afghan and like different types of African foods recently. Like I don't know, just whatever. Like food's cool because it like expands your experiences. Like when you really just like are open to trying new foods. That was so random. Cool. I like that.
Do you have a favorite YouTuber, like fingerboarding related or non-fingerboarding
Dude.
related?
Harry's videos have always been my favorite.
Dirty Harry.
Yeah, and before Harry, or maybe not before, but Black River, their videos, especially their older videos, you got to go back and watch all those. They're super, super good. And then Harry's stuff, especially like the DVX era of Harry, super good videos. I don't know, like, who makes videos now? I don't know, Ryan Bernier makes really good videos because he puts so much effort into all of them, and like every trick is like ender status, but it's just thrown in there like it's nothing.
In terms of fingerboarding YouTubers, you have him on your team, Daniel Aldo Shin. Is that how you say it? I always say it like I'm Japanese or something.
Well, he is Russian. It's something like that.
Yeah, but he is insane.
Yeah.
His FlatFace edit he made it was really cool.
Yeah, he's
I liked
awesome.
it. That was really impressive.
How did you hear about him? Because obviously he's like nowhere near here.
Yeah, dude, I met him in Germany. Because we drove from like Schwarzenbach to Berlin, and where else did we drive? I feel like we did like 2 trips like that or something. But anyways, I don't know. I hung out with him a bunch.
Didn't you end up in Poland?
Yeah, we accidentally dude, we got lost and we got to Poland and it was really scary because we were like really lost.
Oh
We
my God.
drove on this road for like half an hour into the middle of nowhere and like there was nothing off this road and it was like pretty much just a dirt road and like,
Shit.
cause alright, so I was driving the car, right, and we were trying to get to Schwarzenbach from Berlin. So normally it's like a 3 or 4 hour drive.
Damn.
And Harry's like, hey, yeah, I know what to do. Like, I got this written down. Like, he wrote down like a sticky note with like a couple numbers like circled. There was like a 5 in a circle and like a 17 in a circle. I'm like, you know what that means, right? He's like, yeah, we're good. So we're driving, and all of a sudden, I'm like, dude, I've done this drive before. I don't recognize any of these signs. He's like, no, we just keep going for like another hour or 2 before the next direction. So like, long story short, like I'm like, hey, dude, I know this isn't my native language, but I'm pretty sure that sign says, like, last stop before the Polish border. And he's like, yeah, you're right, it does. And then, so we got to Poland, and it was pretty scary, kind of.
Well, that's pretty
None
true
of
because
us
you're in
had
another
phone
country.
service.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
fucked up.
It's my home country.
Harry's phone died, or, like, pretty much all our phones died, and, like, no one had a charger, no one had GPS.
Oh my God.
We figured it out eventually.
Did you backtrack or?
So we had to backtrack for a while, and then we got to like some weird city, and we called up Timo. Somebody's phone had service but no data. I think it was Harry's or whatever. So we called Timo, and we're like, "Hey, dude, like, can you look this up and tell us what to do? We're in like this town," and he told us the name, or we told him the name, and he was like, "What? Why are you over there? Like, that's near Poland." And we're like, yeah, we know." And so, Fat Man was like, "Hey, dude, I'm actually familiar with that area. Let me talk to them," and he got us there safely. It was great.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Adventuring.
and I guess it took us 8 hours instead of 3.
Wow. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
It was really
That's like
sad.
half a day, dude.
Yeah, we got there at like 2 in the morning.
Wow,
And everyone
that
was like, "We
sucks.
thought you guys died."
So, talking about traveling, like, how many countries and states have you gone to, like, for fingerboarding events and just for, like, other things?
Yeah, pretty much almost all of my traveling is fingerboard related except for like family trips here and there. But let's see, for countries, like I've been to Germany more times than I can remember. Like it's somewhere between like 15 and 20, I guess, because I used to go multiple times a year.
Wow.
I've probably been there like at least 15 times. But I've also been to Austria for fingerboarding. Where else? Wow, Switzerland. With Black River, we drove there one time. I've been to a bunch of airports in different places. I've been to Canada, different parts of Canada for fingerboard events. Recently I went to like the Toronto or Brantford area for the Joy Cult event, which was really cool. I've been to Quebec a few times for the event there. And then in the US, wow, like fingerboarding recently brought me to Minnesota, which like, that was cool because I didn't know anything about Minnesota, and I was like, yeah, I'll just go there and find out. And when we got off the airplane, like it smelled horrible, like the whole drive to my friend's house. But then when we got there, we never smelled that smell again. Like it was fine. So Minnesota doesn't smell bad. But we were scared. We were like, this is what we're in for this whole trip. But yeah, I don't know. I think there was like trucks with like cows on the highway.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah. So
thing.
Minnesota, Texas, and like all over the East Coast, of course. Like I live in Massachusetts. I've been to like New Hampshire for a fingerboard event, New York for some, like different parts of New York. I don't know. Where else did I go for events? I've been to Florida a few times. Wow, obviously California. Yeah, ton of trips there. Probably like at least 5 or 6 different times.
Damn.
We did a tour through California. That was crazy. We did like 5 events in 7 days.
Holy
And it was tiring at like the end of that. You're like, wow, that is a lot of fingerboard events like in a short amount of time. But we went from like LA to SF, and the one I remember most was like the Derby event. That was really cool in Santa Cruz, Derby Skate Park. And that video somehow has like the most views out of all my videos right now. It's like 3 million something.
Damn.
And I was like, what?
Doesn't your how to kickflip video have quite a few too?
Yeah, it's like at least 1.5 million.
That's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
When did you make that? Because I remember watching that.
little.
Yeah.
I was really little. I don't even know. Like, I never thought that was a good video either. I was just like, I'm really bad at explaining tricks because, like, I can do them, but, like, I don't really know how I'm doing it because it's just, like, I'm
That's
used to
how I
it.
feel. I can never explain how I do a trick. I practice it and I know how to do it somehow. I can never explain how I do it.
Yeah, it's really, really hard to, at least for me. So, like, a lot of people, I try to teach them kick flips and they can't, like, I can't teach it to them, and then they're like, oh, guess what? They come back to me a few weeks later. I learned it. I'm like, oh, how'd you learn it? It's like, Gary Chin's video. I was like, all right, cool, watch that one. Gary Chin's How to Kickflip is apparently a really good one.
And then you have like all the Disney Motion with Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
Taylor
Rosenbauer.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I know. There's like...
I've been to Germany with him.
Dude,
oh, yeah,
like
I've been to New Jersey because of him, fingerboarding. I don't know if we did an event there. I don't think so. But just fingerboarding, like, New Jersey. Where else? I've been to a lot of places. I've been to Florida, visit my grandfather, but I brought a fingerboard, so that counts. I met a fingerboarder. I met Harris Wesh, like a random fingerboarder from like the forums back in the day.
Talking about finger forms, finger flip ink form.
Yeah, FFI. Those were the days, like for real. So basically, like FFI, if you don't know about what it is, it's like now the whole fingerboarding community kind of seems to be on Instagram and stuff.
It is.
But before that, everything was on forums. So it was like, you get home after school, and you go on the message boards on your computer, on the internet, which takes a computer. It's different than a phone. Like, we didn't have cell phones with, like, internet back then. So you like, wait till you get home, and then you get to, like, see what everyone's been posting and stuff, or, like, wait for people to get on and chat with them. So it was, like, it was a different vibe, and it was really cool, because, like, there's this big community, and we're all in the same forums, and, like, this is before everyone got all sensitive and stuff. So, like, back in the day, like, a lot of people were super mean to each other, like, which is kind of unnecessary, but it just added character, and, like, everyone could really be themselves, and, like, there was, like, I don't know, think about school, like, there's every character in your grade, like, there's some cool kids and some weird kids, and, like, there's just...
Were you a weird kid?
Not really, like, I was slightly weird, but I wasn't, like, the weird kid. I was, like, somehow popular.
The
like,
fingerboard kid.
Not, like, super popular, but, like, popular-ish, and, like, just, like, I don't know, I did my own thing, I didn't really care about anything, but, yeah, I don't know, like, on the forums, people, like, I don't know, back then it was different, like, when you post a video, like, the point of getting comments on your video was, like, so that you could improve, so that your next video was better. So you'd, like, post a video and people would be like, dude, stop doing kickflip nose grinds, I don't want to see it anymore. Like, I remember getting that before, because apparently I did them a lot, and I probably still do, because I love kickflip nose grinds.
But then that just motivates you to get them better and down, so the next time you post something, they can go, oh shit, he really got better at that.
Exactly. And, like, if you're landing stuff sketchy, people would tell you, and you wouldn't, like, get mad at them. You'd be like, thank you for... Like, sometimes you'd be like, aw, but you wouldn't be like, dude, stop telling me the truth, you'd be like, thank you for telling me the truth. So like I wish people were like that again, like not in a mean way, but just in like a constructive way. Like they call it constructive criticism.
Just everyone helps out everyone with tricks and doesn't have to be a dick about it.
Exactly.
Everybody's like so sensitive on Instagram now, though. It's like everybody, if you criticize something, even in a nice way, you get attacked.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know, 2017, everyone's all sensitive, but it used to be where like, I don't know, there was so much progression in those days until now because of like the criticism and
it's kind of slowed down now because of that. Everyone's kind of complacent.
Exactly, and there was a lot of wars between different companies and different people. Like, I don't know, just people would come into the scene and they would either be liked or not liked, and it would make things happen. So like when I first started, I was on the Tech Deck forums, and then I went on to FFI, and like when I first started, I was like 9 years old. So imagine like if you're all like, I don't know, 16 years old and you're like running the forums, you've been there a couple of years, and like you have your crew and like you're making good videos, and then like some 9-year-old comes in, like he's probably gonna be annoying. So like apparently I was super annoying. Like a lot of people hated on me, which I think is kind of inspiring to kids now. Like I want them to know this, because like even if you don't fit in, like don't give up and just do what you like, because over time like people used to get mad at me. They were like, there's no way you're making these boards, because I started making boards when I was like 9 or 10. And they're like, you're not making those, your dad makes those. Like, and back then my dad had never like touched a fingerboard, you know? So I was like, what the heck, guys, come on. Like, I just made this board. I spent like 3 hours on it, and you're like not even gonna believe that I made it. But it's like, don't give up when stuff like that happens. Just be like, whatever, like I'm gonna keep making these boards. Like if they're so good that you think my dad made them, like that's awesome. I'm gonna make some more. Yeah. And like people used to not like me and stuff, and then like over time people like mellowed out about it, but it was cool because even though it was like kind of unpleasant at times, it was also super motivating. So like be nicer to people than people were back then, because some people were mean. Like people on there would be like, hey, go kill yourself, you suck at fingerboarding. So like, but the thing is, people back then could handle that. You wouldn't literally do it. You'd just be like, oh man, like this guy's mean, I'm gonna not be his friend.
So like,
and then it's like,
how many comments on YouTube? Because I mean, I think if anybody sees a suggested, well, at least, you know, probably still now, but if they see a suggested video on YouTube, it's usually probably one of your videos. Like they have a lot of views. Like how many comments just you get from just random people like, oh, look at this guy with a fingerboard. what he doesn't even skateboard. Yeah. Like how many of those did you get? I mean, you still get them.
I get them more now than back then, because back then only fingerboarders would ever see your fingerboard videos, because nobody else would see it. And now it's like YouTube is so big that people will find your fingerboard videos who don't fingerboard, and some of them think it's awesome. It's cool. A lot of them like get into fingerboarding because of my videos, and when like people come up to me and tell me that, I'm like, wow, that's so awesome. Like I'm really happy to hear that, because like that wasn't even my intention. I just make fingerboarding videos because I like to. So like when it brings people into fingerboarding, it's the coolest thing ever. But yeah, there's always people that comment like oh, get a life, do it on a real board. Like wow, you're like however old you are and you're still playing with fingerboards, like stuff like that. And I'm like, dude, every human on this earth should do what they want to do with their life and have fun with it.
It really fucking doesn't matter what some guy on the internet has to say. I mean,
and it's crazy because these internet people, when you meet them in real life, they're not going to be mean to you. They're usually like more down to earth than you even expected, or they're just a normal person and they're like fine. But it's like when people are on the internet, there's no consequence, so they'll say whatever they want.
They're in the safety of their home and they're behind a screen, you know?
Yeah.
They know they're never going to confront you, so they don't care.
Sometimes I like to go in the comments and just see that one comment that has like 80 replies of people just fighting with each other. Like, fingerboarding is awesome, shut up. And it's like, no, get out of here.
Yeah, I don't even like reply or jump in. I'm just like, whatever. Like, it doesn't affect me because like.
Do your thing. I don't give a shit.
Like everyone I've met in person, like sometimes I'd be scared to tell somebody that I'm like a fingerboarder or whatever. Like back in the day. Now I tell everyone, but like I used to think like, oh, what if I tell this person? Like, what are they gonna think of me? Or like, what if I tell this girl? Is she gonna think I'm like not cool or something? And then like somehow they actually think it's really cool. And like the rare times that they don't think it's cool, they're not the right personality for you to interact with. Like,
Yeah,
they're not going to think you're cool in general if they don't agree with all the things you do in your life anyways.
Or if they're just not open to it, they're like, nah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But like most people think it's cooler than I even expect them to think it is.
Yeah, I'm in that situation too sometimes. Actually, a lot of times I'll be like, I just don't really want to tell anybody. And they're like, oh, actually, that's really cool.
Yeah.
Like, I have a buddy that didn't know I'd do it. And like sometimes we'll just be hanging out doing something. I'll whip out my fingerboard and just do like a tray flip. And he's like, dude, I don't think you understand how cool that is. And it's like...
Yeah. For sure.
All right.
You whip it out with your buddy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, dude, just have fun with it, man.
Like, yeah.
So, how much school did you miss because you were doing fingerboard stuff?
Dude, so I missed a lot of school. Basically in high school, like FlatFace really took off, and like there was a lot going on in Germany. Like their scene was really popping with lots of events and stuff. And so I would go as much as I could because like I would just tell my teachers like, hey, I'm going to travel for a week. Can you give me the homework? Like if you want me to do the work and stuff, like give it to me and I'll do it on the plane or whatever. And they were cool with it because they understood like whatever they said, like I'm still going to go, so they might as well work with me on it.
Right.
Fuck off. No, it was cool. Like a lot of times I'd come back and I wouldn't have the work done that I was supposed to, and they would like forget about it. And
like, oh wait, I was supposed to do that?
Yeah, and somehow I did really well in my classes, like in general. So when I wouldn't have my work that they would forget about, like somehow they just would just forget and it would be fine. And then other times I'd have to actually do it, but
God, that sucks.
yeah, I would travel a bunch, and then there was one time in the winter, I think it was senior year, and I was like, hey mom, like, can I go to Germany for 3 weeks or something? And because the reason I said 3 is because I wanted to go for like a week or something, and I thought they were going to say no. So I thought like maybe they'll bargain with me if I say 3. It's like I'm pretty good at bargaining with people. But they just said yeah. So I went for 3 weeks, and I missed 3 weeks of school. And I missed something in math that the teacher, like, I don't know what I missed, but like I never did well in math after that because I just missed some like building block of like more techniques in math that I might have needed for school and stuff. But
damn it, Mom, you're supposed to haggle.
Yeah, but it was really cool because my teachers were so used to me leaving for a week. They're like, oh yeah, he's just going for 3 weeks this time. Let's just give him all the stuff like we always do. And I missed so much school. Like if you think about 3 weeks of school, that's a lot. Like
you don't think it is, but it is a lot because
It's a whole month.
Everything they teach you is kind of the next thing they're going to do. It's necessary to know what they taught before because you're going to be lost without it.
Exactly. So in math, that screwed me over, but in everything else, I did well. So I actually got a D in math and like straight A's. It was ridiculous.
What happened there?
That's pretty good for traveling.
Yeah, and I was just like,
awesome.
you know what? This doesn't even matter at this point. Like, I didn't exactly know what I was going to do, but I was like, I don't think I'm going to be going to college because I think like I don't need to. Like, FlatFace was doing super well. Like I just bought a house, and my parents were just like, my mom wanted me to go to college. My dad didn't. He's like, don't waste money and go to college. Like
that's how I am.
Keep doing FlatFace. Like it's working. You're already making like a good amount, and like you're having fun with it. Like don't go do something you don't want to do. Just like because people are used to like the whole like oh you got to go to college thing. But
well, I mean, like you're a business owner. You don't work for anybody, so I mean that's already an accomplishment. I mean that's what most people are trying to do anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. If you ever wanted to take a break from FlatFace or really end it, just
end it all.
All right, guys, I'm bored. Everybody else.
Well, you have business experience. You have the knowledge of running a company.
Yeah, exactly.
That transfers really well to other things.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's what kind of made me feel secure with not going to college. Like. I know fingerboarding is doing super well, and I was like, if God forbid, like everyone stopped fingerboarding one day, I think I could run a business in just about anything because I understand how it works from like different standpoints and stuff.
Flex tricks? What if they all transferred over to BMX?
Flex tricks, oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
We've talked about like making actual like legit metal parts for finger BMXs.
Oh my god, that'd be so dope.
Just for the like shits and giggles.
I think it'd be cool. Metal chains.
Cool, but I don't know. There's something about fingerboarding that's just way.
Well, you can't do anything on a bike. I mean.
You actually hold it, so it's really not that difficult.
Yeah.
It's like you hold it to pick it up.
It's like fingerboarding takes the perfect amount of skill.
Yeah.
Where it's not just like it's something you get into and then. you can get really into it. Like
Yeah.
as you develop your skills with
Once
it.
you do your first ollie, you're hooked. That's
Pretty
what got
much.
me.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I can do that now.
Yeah.
God damn.
And it's crazy. I've been fingerboarding for like, I don't know, a lot of years, like 15 years or something. And like I still haven't got bored of it because you can never stop getting better and learning new tricks.
There's
and
so much shit. There's endless
it's like-
possibilities.
I still can't consistently do like, let's say a nollie heel crook that's going to take me like a minute to land versus like Jay over here can do that like first or second try. And then like I could probably do something that he can't do like first try. So it's like everyone has their own little sector of like tricks that they're good at and bad at, and like you always keep improving. And like style develops over time, and like you get different preferences for boards. Like I feel like fingerboards influence style and style influences fingerboards. So like the way that we're on G15 boards now, like that's the 15th generation of fingerboards.
That's pretty insane to think about.
Yeah, it's wild.
Actually, that's kind of funny. 15 years of fingerboarding you've been, and
Yeah,
there's
wow.
also 15 boards.
That is
Like,
crazy.
man,
I
that's
didn't even
pretty-
notice that.
That's
till
pretty
now.
weird to think about.
15
Yeah.
years of constantly improving a design.
Yep.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really weird to think about.
Maybe that's what makes my boards like some of the best, because I've just been making them for so long. Like I don't want to say they're the best, but I
Oh,
know
no.
that in my opinion they are, because for me they're the best. They're the shape I
Well-
want to use.
Well, that's 15 years
And
of
then-
development.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So it's like there's tons of fingerboards out there that could be just as good for sure. But like for my fingers, my boards are the best because like I just figured out over
Right.
like making them for that.
They're tailored to what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
You
And
perform
so,
the
like,
best on them.
I can pick up any of them and know how to do like a varial flip front tail because I know like every pocket of that board, what it feels like, and like if my finger's like a little to the side, how I need to modify what I do to still land the same trick where like it should be somewhere else.
That's pretty crazy.
Like that's what happens when you get really used to it. And actually, I would recommend to kids, if you find a fingerboard you like, try to use it for like half a year straight, like one setup, because you learn
get
those
much
things.
more consistent with it.
Yeah, you learn crazy things about fingerboarding, like how to
If you're
nail a
switching,
trick
if you have
every
multiple
time.
setups and you're switching off all the time, you're not going to be that consistent with your tricks because every board's different. Everything, you know.
So like one thing I've noticed with your decks, and a lot of other decks don't have, is it has like almost a pointed nose where
The
everything else is
popsicle
like,
shape.
yeah, everything else is more like squared at the nose and
Dude,
tail.
that's like this weird new trend. It's like the same as like people just got all sensitive recently or something.
It's
The
Instagram.
squared tails.
I don't know. A lot of boards got super square, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just weird because if you look at skateboards, they're
They're
not
all
really
popsicles.
like that.
I mean,
It's like, unless you're looking at like a 9-inch skateboard, which like I do ride really wide skateboards, and they do look a little more square just because of how wide it is. But so maybe that's part of just fingerboards being wider, but I don't know. I shape them, honestly, like the way that I've been sanding them by hand recently, which is a little bit different than the G15s that I sell, so it's kind of like that progression thing, but I had this awesome skateboard. It was a Creature, and it was shaped a certain way that was like slightly more squarish, but nothing like the square fingerboards out there at all. Like it's still very like flat facey, but like that's what all my flat face boards are like based off, like the way that board is cut out. Cause I love that shape. It's like super awesome. So I don't know. I just kind of like keep it with the skateboard influence for sure. Cause like the same thing with a fingerboard, using it for a long time. Like I use my skate decks for a super long time because I basically skate mini ramp all the time, and like I'm not heavy enough to like break a board. So until it's all chipped up or like soggy or something, like I'll use a skateboard for like half a year. And it influences my fingerboard when I really like that fingerboard or a skateboard a lot. It's like I try to make a fingerboard that looks like that skateboard.
So, I'm looking at the questions. Have you ever been kicked out somewhere for like fingerboarding?
Yeah.
We have.
I got kicked out last week. I was with Drake and Shane. We were fingerboarding at the mall. Like first thing we got there, we filmed. You'll see this video soon, but there was this cool like giant circle half pipe type thing. So I just went and was like trying to do a kickflip on it. And it was like in the window of some store, and this lady just came out and like was yelling at us, and like she was like yelling at us through the window and like trying to communicate us to like get out of there. And she was super mad for like, I guess we were making noise and whatever. But so I was like, all right, I'm gonna just land this trick real quick anyways, even though we're kicked out. So I gave it 2 more tries and I landed it. And then she came out like following us, and like we just like left. And then this mall cop was yelling at us later, like, we're just fingerboarding in the mall, like, it doesn't, I understand that window affected people, but, like, this other time at the mall, I was just fingerboarding on, like, an empty stand, like, where they'd probably sell, like, some pillows or something, but they were all out, like, there was...
Poop emoji pillows?
Yeah, but there was no product, there was no person there, it was just, like, an empty stand in the hall, like, in the middle of the mall, so I was just fingerboarding on it, because it had this cool gap to out ledge with, like, a drop down, and so, like... A mall cop just came up and was like, "You guys can't do that here." I was like, "Dude, this is a fingerboard. Like, I'm not even skateboarding. What
it's
is
like a marker.
How does this affect anything? Like, can I like ride my Matchbox car on this?" I don't know. Some people have a problem with weird things.
Have you ever fingerboarded on a Matchbox car? Because I have.
Yeah, you can kind of do tricks with them.
You can a little bit. Like, I've
They
done
got the
shove-its and
pop,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. If they have like a spoiler on it, you get a little extra leverage.
It's a little tail.
Totally.
Do you have like any fingerboarding memories, like, that you really enjoyed? Yeah, high points, I guess.
Yeah. Sorry. So, I guess one of my favorites is, like, the first time I went to Germany, because that was mind-blowing. Like, I was asking my dad for probably a year or 2 years, like, hey, can I go to Germany? Like, there's so much fingerboarding stuff out there. It's super awesome. Like, Black River's there. They do these huge events. They have, like, a stone fingerboard park. They have, like, 20 different Black River parks and like a skate park or like 2 skate parks and whatever, like an indoor bowl. I was like, please, I want to go. And he was like, always like, yeah, maybe one day. And so I was 16 and he finally said I could go and he went with me and it was so crazy because like I went to Germany and I was like a little kid and it was just a different country and it was really bizarre. Like we didn't know anyone there yet. Like I had talked to Black River through email a little bit, but I didn't really know anyone personally.
Oh, wow.
So like I stayed at like a hotel, but like there's not actually hotels in that area because it's in the middle of nowhere. So I stayed at like a hunting lodge, and like they didn't speak a word of English there, but like they fed us breakfast and stuff. And like I don't know, I just remember like some kind of like potatoes and like creamy like stuff or whatever. Like the food, the food was so like so good in the morning, and then like I just went to Black River and I was like fingerboarding like. There was a whole bunch of people the day before the event, like we were all fingerboarding on the parks, but I didn't know anyone at all, and I didn't even realize like that some people spoke English, so I was like really just fingerboarding by myself, like in a different country. Like imagine going to a store session, but like you didn't speak English, so you're just like fingerboarding, or maybe you're just too nervous to talk to people. Like I'm sure that happens too, and it was really really fun. I just got to fingerboard on all these things that I had seen in videos, and then like people would like eventually come and talk to me, and then like. I ended up making like some of the best friends that I have in my whole life, like that live in Germany that I still talk to all the time. And it was crazy, like Elias was there and I was like super fanboy. I was just like, oh, I'm gonna film him, like hopefully he doesn't notice I'm filming him or like doesn't care that I'm filming him really. And then like I was like, no way I'm filming Elias. And then like I don't know, like I never thought I would end up being friends with like Timo and Martin and like all those people and Elias, and it's just super cool because like in the end of the day, like we're all just people. Like there's nobody you can't talk to or like can't
it's
hang out
like
with.
you all have something already to like bond about.
Yeah,
So you kind of instantly have friends.
exactly. Wow, and then there's this place called Wunsiedel, which is in Germany, and it's near Black River. And they used to have like that big mini ramp in the backyard, which is like what mine's inspired by. And they have like the stone fingerboard park there, and it's like this place in nature and just like this old castle that this dude made into his house.
That's
and,
fucking
like,
sweet.
It's really cool. It has a moat and a drawbridge.
Whoa, dude, that's sick.
Yeah, and it's just like the vibes out there is crazy. Like it just feels different. Like you're in the middle of nowhere. Like if you've been to anywhere that's in the middle of nowhere, you know how it just feels so like calm and serene and just like amazing. So those are like real highlights for me. Just like every time I've been out there, because it feels really cool to be there and just like fingerboarding in such like an amazing place.
You guys want to take a break?
Doesn't matter if you want.
Yeah, I'm just like really warm right now. So let's just take a break.
All right.
Alright guys, welcome back. We just took a little break, made some dinner. So back to the questions. How many decks do you think you've actually made? Is there like a little...
In total.
Yeah, in total.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
I mean, it's got.
Let's just give it a rough estimate.
It's got to be up in the 10,000s.
Wow.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah, there's probably 10,000 FlatFace decks
There's
out
got to be
there.
more.
That's a lot.
At least. I don't even know how many, like, I haven't been keeping track, but yeah, because basically we'll work on them in large batches, and then like basically mold a whole bunch of them, and like go through each step of like making it, and then like once those are all done, we like start fresh with a whole bunch again. So there's a lot of boards out there. Like on my wall, I probably if you just go from there to there, those are all FlatFace boards.
Oh my God.
And like obviously that's not nearly all the ones I made, but like all those are a bunch. So that's probably like 50 to 100.
Oh, are those that cool Berlin wood with the skulls on it and a bunch of them?
Yeah.
Blue ones?
So those are
Cool.
FlatFace boards with Berlin wood graphics on them.
That's sick.
That was the first batch of those. Those are all G12 boards.
That's awesome.
Huh.
Yeah, that was like one of the times I went to Germany, and they're like, "Hey, let's do this." And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And I actually have 2 new ones coming out soon.
You like when Harry comes over, you guys make obstacles, right? Oh,
Yeah.
that's what I heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Harry will come here and he'll make all the Harriers.
Doesn't
and
he?
stuff.
I don't know if it was like Uncle Urban or whatever, but I heard it in like an interview. He said like he only comes up here to make like stocks, right?
I mean, not only, but like that's what allows him to do it. Like, basically, that pays for like his flight and like food and stuff like that. So he's like, "Oh, I get to have a vacation in America and just make a bunch of Harriers to pay for the whole trip."
That's cool.
So it's really, really cool. It's a lot of fun.
I like his drone footage.
Yeah, that's sick.
It's so fun.
He has like one of those racing ones.
Yeah.
I have like 2 of the regular DJIs. So have you ever been recognized in like a public space, not fingerboarding events?
Yeah. It happens here and there. Like, it happens a lot at skate parks, which is kind of more obvious, but then like it's happened in random places too before, and it's like super cool. Like, I don't know. Well, when I was in Santa Cruz, California, like I stayed there for a couple weeks, and I would be just like walking downtown, like even at nighttime or something, and like kids would come up to me and be like, "Hey, are you Mike Schneider?" Because like so many people skate and fingerboard in that town. It's like unbelievable.
That's neat.
And yeah, like just a few random places. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but it happens here and there. Like sometimes like at the mall or something like that. Like just somewhere where there's like enough people that like maybe someone will recognize me here and there.
That's neat.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Do you remember the first time you were recognized?
Not really, because it kind of gradually evolved from like happening at fingerboard events to like happening at skate parks and like skate events. So like it kind of was a natural progression, but then like if it happens somewhere totally random, it's super cool. But like sometimes, like there's certain skate parks where like 6 people will come up to me every time I go there. It's like ridiculous. And then other places like nobody will. So it just depends.
So, talking about skateboarding and stuff like that, were you skateboarding before you were fingerboarding, or did fingerboarding make you get into skateboarding?
Yeah, so I started skateboarding when I was like 8, and then by the time I was 9, I was fingerboarding. So the fingerboarding was like, oh cool, like I love skateboarding, this is like another version of it. Like I also like playing Tony Hawk games and stuff, so it's all just like whatever skateboarding things there are, let me check them out, because I just love it. Like skateboarding was super fun to me right away when I started. I was like, yep, this is something I really like doing. And fingerboarding, the same thing. It's just like, this is skateboarding for my fingers. Like just the same like creativity and like no rules kind of thing. Like you can do it how you want to do it, and there's still like the challenges and progression and stuff like that within that.
It's actually like really cool if you think about it, how realistic, I guess you could say, fingerboarding is to skateboarding. I mean, it's all the same movements, really.
Yeah.
For the most part, like it really is.
Totally. And it's crazy because you can learn a trick on a fingerboard and then learn it on a skateboard because of that, or vice versa.
Because you know the movement which you need to flick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what was I gonna say? A lot of times you could do like fingerboard tricks that you could say like, oh, no one on a skateboard is ever gonna do like kickflip nose manual, kickflip nose manual, nollie, backside flip out. And then now skateboarding is getting to the point where people are grinding up handrails and doing all these crazy tech combos that it's like you're watching a skate video, and sometimes like what comes to my mind is like, wow, they're basically just fingerboarding at this point. Like skateboarding is getting to that point. So it's really
it's
both,
getting really advanced.
They're both ridiculous now. It's awesome.
How many parks in total have you think you built?
You think you built?
Yeah.
How many have you think you built?
Damn it, Ethan, this is your job.
I built.
Damn it.
I don't know. I probably made like 5 or 10 parks, ish, like probably closer to 10. And then I have a whole bunch of other parks. Like I have a bunch of Black River ones. Like I've helped build a bunch of parks that aren't mine too. So I guess more than 10 if you count all those.
Yeah,
Like,
count those too.
yeah. Like I learned how to do concrete stuff like in Germany with Elias. Like he made that crazy bowl. It's like this big and it has like the spine in the middle and it's all painted like black and red. Yeah. So like I got to basically watch. I helped a little bit and I don't think that was the first concrete, but like I learned so much on that project.
Right.
And then kind of brought back that knowledge here and like made Winslow and made all the like different concrete stuff I've made here. And then yeah, so I've like helped on different ones and built a whole bunch of parks myself. Like I really like building parks by myself, like with no one helping.
So you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and you can take your time and like do it at your own pace. Like when I built Tony Hawk's parking lot, that was super, super fun. Like I was just in my basement for like 2 weeks straight. Like I only left to go to the grocery store and I was just like yeah, when I wasn't doing it, I would like hang out with people, but like
hang out with people.
Barely. Like barely. I was just like so in the zone. Like I want to do this project and just like, I remember going to the grocery store one time and like I was checking out with all my food and like I said something to the cashier and it felt so weird that I like spoke to a person because like wow, I don't think I've spoke to a person in 2 or 3 days right now. Like I was just building that park in my basement listening to like one album on repeat the whole time, like because that's how I get in my zone, dude. Like there's no time when you're just listening to like one thing. And I don't know, I just like built it and I felt like it was like it's still probably the best park I ever made. Or
it's one of my favorites when I go to store sessions and stuff.
Super, super fun.
That brick kicker is so awesome. It feels so cool when you go off.
Yeah.
All the brick stuff. How do you do that? Do you just like bake your own little bricks?
No, somebody does. I get them online, but they are made like real bricks. Like it's the same material and stuff.
Yeah, they're really neat.
And so they come in sheets. You can look up like mini dollhouse bricks on eBay and buy them. And then I'll tell you guys the secret. So you take a piece of plywood and you glue them on. Like you spread some Gorilla Glue really thin, put your sheet of bricks on, and then put like another piece of wood on top and like a bunch of heavy stuff so it like weighs it down. And then once that dries, you have like a perfect sheet of bricks and you can inlay that into wood or concrete or whatever.
Dude.
And that way they're all flat.
Yeah.
And then you fill the gaps with like concrete just with your finger, like put on some gloves and just like spread it. And those are grout. And
Dude, secret techniques.
Park building techniques 101.
Because a lot of times people try to build like an obstacle and then glue the bricks on. And like you can't get it perfect. It's really hard, especially if it's an angle or something. Yeah. So if you like, same with building a concrete park. If you want to do like a tile inlay, but like right below your coping, like take a straight strip of like plywood, glue all the tiles on, and like set that in before you do your concrete, so that like all your stuff's just like perfect.
Do you think wooden parks are harder to make or concrete parks?
Well, every time I make a wooden park, I'm like, all right, this next one is gonna be Black River quality. It's gonna be perfect. I'm gonna like put a ton of work into it and make every edge perfect. And like that's what I did with my latest park downstairs, but like it's still not Black River. It came out super good, but like you can't get it perfect. I don't know how they do it, and it's amazing.
It's freaking insane how they do it. My dad, for Christmas, when I just started getting into fingerboarding, he made me a half pipe. And he went to Home Depot and everything and tried to find wood that would curve like that. Mm-hmm. So what we ended up doing is he got something called, I think what Black River uses is wacky wood. I think that's what it's called. Whatever they use, I don't know.
Smacky wood? Woody wood? I like the wood.
But, oh my God. But my dad got something completely different, and he soaked it in water for like a week straight and just let it sit in the water. And that's how he curved it, which was freaking insane to me.
Half pipes are like the hardest things to build, or at least I've built. Like I've just basically taken little pieces of sticks and just nailed them on there.
It works too. It's a good texture.
Yeah, it does feel cool. I like the texture when I'm going up stuff. Mm-hmm. But that's
that the replica of the Black River Bowl that I made a long time ago, it still exists. That's from like 2007 or 9 or something.
What do you think the oldest park in the Drake-it location is?
Maybe that.
Really?
Maybe that thing. My Black River Park, the first one I got, was 2000. Where's Jay? I don't know. Between 2007 and 2009. Not exactly sure when I got it, but that was like I've had that thing for super long. The one with like the super steep wall ride and like the half pipe that's just a U and like the coolest rail ever with like the vertical things in it. Yeah. But yeah, that bowl took me like a month to make.
Holy shit.
That thing was crazy.
Damn.
But then concrete is a totally different art in itself, making concrete stuff. But I almost feel like making something, I don't know, it's hard to even compare them. They're both easy and difficult in different ways. Like certain things are harder in one or in the other. But then like making it versus making it really good is like a whole different...
I feel like making, the curvature stuff in concrete is a little bit easier because you don't have to deal with bending the wood and worrying about snapping or any of that. You can just smooth it out under some styrofoam. I think that's how people do it. They lay a bunch of styrofoam out and they put the concrete over and smooth it.
Chicken fence on it?
Yeah, you
chicken
want
wire.
to use some wire mesh.
Yeah.
So what was the name of your original OG fingerboard company?
Well, yeah. So I started Def FB. That was the name of it, and it was like 4th grade, and the name didn't stick for too long. Like I was like, "Hey, Dad, like I want to put an ad in the newspaper for my fingerboard company," and he was like, "Not with a name like Def, you can't do that." And so I changed it to Death. That's better.
So
with
much
a
better.
TH instead of an F. Death FB. Oh yeah. And then they both lasted like a couple of weeks at the most, and then like I changed it to FlatFace, and then that stuck for longer. And then when FlatFace got big, like, or not as big as it is now, but it started to grow a lot, and I was like, oh man, FlatFace is such a dumb name, and now I'm stuck with it because everyone knows me and like it's getting like respected and stuff. And I thought it was like stupid at one point, but now it's just like, I don't know. It's like a solid name, like everyone knows FlatFace.
Exactly, yeah.
And people ask me like, how do you think of that name? And I'm always just like, I wish I had a really cool story.
But it's so random. It's 2 words put together, basically.
Yeah, it was like, I was looking on like something on the internet that was like websites that don't exist anymore. And like one of them was like FlatFace something from like the UK, and it was like just some random like thing that like stopped existing. And I was like, oh, FlatFace, cool. Yeah, sure. I'll use that. Like I didn't think that it was gonna really become anything big either.
Yeah, take off.
It was just like...
And have this huge reputation.
Yeah, I mean, it was me selling boards to my friends, and like the team was like, everyone on the FlatFace team was in my 4th or 5th grade class. Like, that's what the FlatFace team used to be. So it was just like me and my friends doing our thing.
Sometimes there's some pretty clever fingerboard names, or at least ones that sound cool, like Joy Color just sounds cool.
Yeah.
It's like, what is that? It's cool for join us? I don't know. It's cool.
Yeah, it's a crazy name. I just got to meet him like last month. That was so cool. He's an awesome dude.
Yeah. So is there a process that you go through to sponsor people, or do you just like, hey, I like how that guy rides, he's a nice dude, and do you just sponsor him, or is it different?
Pretty much exactly what you just said, yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I'll see somebody and just like keep an eye on their videos or whatever, like maybe see them in person and be like, wow, they're really good, or like they also have to be a really cool person.
Yeah.
I won't put anyone on the team if like I'm not a good friend of theirs. Like if we don't get along well, or if
then
like,
what's the point?
or
Because
if
you're not
like,
gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not gonna talk well. You're not gonna.
Yeah.
Really.
Everyone on my team is pretty much friends with everyone else on the team, and the only person who ever got kicked off of FlatFace was just someone that like the whole team didn't like, and I didn't really end up liking him that much. But like everyone on the team were all friends, or like at least get along with each other. Like some of them are super close with each other, some just like never even met each other, but like I know they all get along like when they communicate online or whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. So I remember you being on Red Bull, which was really cool because Red Bull is a big thing. Can you like explain how that came to be?
Yeah. that was crazy. How did it even? I guess they reached out to me through email.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, and I was just like, all right, yeah, of course this is fake, but it wasn't fake, it was real. And they were like, yeah, we got like this funny idea for like an April Fool's thing where like we have all these pros talking about like the next big skateboarder, and then like
That'd be actually pretty funny.
yeah, and then they hype it up, and then like it shows it, and then it's just like somebody fingerboarding, and like we thought you would be the perfect person to do this, like. You want to? And I was like, yeah, of course,
Damn.
that's awesome, like.
That's sick.
Of course. And so they flew me out there. I stayed in like the nicest hotel I ever seen. Like they just paid for like a hotel. It had like this crazy shower where the whole top of it was like it just rained on you.
Oh, I've seen
Oh
those.
my
Those are so
God.
And
cool.
it was just like glass on all the sides of it, and it was like so
That's
crazy.
sick.
Where'd they fly you to?
Like somewhere in LA. Yeah. And so we filmed that video there, and it was funny. They were like, yeah, we have like the top filmers for skateboarding, like they're super good at filming, like this is gonna be great, we have red cameras. And they had so much trouble, they missed all the tricks I did, they had to keep refilming and stuff.
Oh my God.
And they kept being like, how do you do this? Like can you like give us advice? Like how do you get the angles and like not miss it? And I'm like,
And then they're
dude,
supposed to
I've
be the
been
top
filming
filmers.
this for so long, but it's so easy. Like my friends film me all the time, and they don't know what they're doing. It comes out like fine.
And they're supposed to be like on
Yeah.
top of their game,
So,
the best filmers.
Like it came out amazing in the end, but like I had to redo a lot of tricks a lot of times, and they missed some things that I didn't do again because I was just like, dude, like that's not gonna happen again. You don't get it. Like I can't just do like a crazy combo like over and over again. Like
How long-
some of them I can, but
How
not.
long do you think you were probably there filming just fingerboard clips?
Probably like 6 hours or something at least. Like
Damn, wow.
there's a lot of footage that didn't go into it. Like we filmed way more than what got in, and then they sent me a hard drive with everything,
Oh,
and I made my own edit with all the other footage, which
neat.
is on my channel too, and that's like a whole nother 3-minute video.
Wow.
And then at the end, like they had like this little scene with like a helicopter, like a mini helicopter, and like they went so ham with that. It was like this real like. You know how a fingerboard is like a real skateboard tiny? Like we got
Yeah.
the bearings
Yeah.
and it's all intricate. Well, they did that with the helicopter, and no one could fly it because the controls are so advanced.
Holy
they had to
shit.
call in last minute and find a real helicopter pilot to come
Oh
in
my
and learn
God.
how to use the thing and fly it.
Wow.
And they
that's
spent so
freaking
much money on
crazy.
it. It was like unbelievable for like a few seconds in the video, and like they were struggling. And it was just like so cool. Like
Wow.
it was a really weird.
That's when you needed
Crazy
Harry,
thing.
right?
Yeah, that was before I think Harry ever touched a drone that I know of anyways. And this was like probably 2012, 13, 11-ish.
Damn.
Something like that. Yeah. That was super cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I thought the coolest part was like other actual skateboarders acknowledging you and fingerboarding. That was
Yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
was wild when
That
I
was
first saw
crazy.
that. Because like I didn't even meet those guys. They filmed all that separate, but with the intention of using it in this project. But like I wasn't there for them like filming like Eric Costin and Ryan
Yeah,
Sheckler and
that was
stuff.
so cool though.
But yeah, it was like amazing when I saw that video come out. I was like, what?
That's crazy.
No way. Yeah, super crazy. Now I want to watch that. We'll watch it after.
Yeah, we'll watch it after. So, what's your favorite part probably? Is it one here? Is it one at the store sessions? One outside?
Wow. Maybe Tony Hawk's parking lot, honestly. But I like all of them. It depends on my mood. And then, Winslow is awesome. The left half of it, especially all the transition on that. I don't know. I guess the things like the big mini, that's like stood the test of time. Like I always want to go to it and use it, so that's a really good one. Like my first park is a super awesome one. Like the first Black River park I got, that one's really awesome. And yeah, like Tony Hawk's parking lot, and then the one I have downstairs right now. What is it? Trom Copes. John Cowart named it that. Yeah, that one's pretty fun.
Something I noticed is sometimes you have interesting or just like random, to me at least, names for your YouTube videos.
Yes.
Does Jay make those too?
Dude, those
Hey,
come
John.
from everything and everyone. Like, they're really random because I have like probably 1,500 videos at this point. Like, I don't even know how many videos I have, but it passed 1,000 a while ago. So it's like you can't just be like fingerboard mini or like desk
Kickflip
video or
something.
like
Yeah.
you can't even be like quarter pipe video because I probably already have that too. So it's like usually while I'm editing it or like maybe something funny from that day or like a sentence somebody says or like anything super super random. Like right now on my plate there's like one summer squash, so I could call a video one summer squash. Like that might be my next video.
That actually,
Like that's how I name my videos. Like
Damn.
oh, Sprite on a cajon. Like no one would know
That's
what that
Mountain
is.
Dew.
right on the
Yeah. Well, and then my next one would be like, oh wait, I meant Mountain Dew. Like,
That'd be
That's
sick.
actually rad. That's really interesting.
Yeah, that's
really interesting. That's
kind of
unique.
cool.
So, I think it's cool. Some people may not, but I think it's cool that your parents are involved with your company and involved with fingerboarding, and that they're there for all the story sessions and the rendezvous, you know, helping out and stuff.
yeah.
Like, I guess pretty much. I mean, I guess you're employing your parents pretty much. Like, what is that to you? Like, how did that happen? Basically,
It's amazing. I'm super, super grateful for it. Everything they do is like, it's made the whole thing possible to keep it and make it like where it is today. Because I feel like it was maybe, was it 2007? I don't know. But there was a point where my website was closed because I was just like, all right, guys, orders are down. Nobody can order anything. Like, I have 5 orders right now. I can't handle this. Like, it's too much. Or whatever, 5 or 10 boards to make. Like, and it was just too much because, like, I couldn't run the company by myself. And my mom was, like, looking for a job for a while. And then she came up with the idea. She was like, hey, what if I help you out in the background? Like, if I handle the shipping and the emails and you can make the boards, and that way, like, the people can get the boards that they ordered, and then you can get more orders and make more and, like, keep doing them. And I was like, all right, we can try it out, I guess. And it worked super, super well because, like, all the stuff I didn't have time for, like, I had help with, and then all the things I need to do, I get to do them, like making the boards. And basically it evolved to this point where, like, now, like, I pay both my parents to work for me, and they do, like, so much for me that, like, if I didn't have them, I wouldn't be able to do FlatFace anywhere near, like, how I do, because they help with so much stuff. And it's really cool because we have, like, a really good relationship where, like, they understand that it's my company and, like, everything's done the way I want it to be, and it's, like, true to fingerboarding, and it's all, like, everything's designed by me and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's still the same exact FlatFace, but, like, the stuff I don't have time for, they get to help out with, and then they help out at the events and stuff, and, like, they're super knowledgeable about all the fingerboard stuff too, but, like, they leave it to me to, like, actually design it and say, like, what happens when and all that. So, like, it's perfect, and we work really well together because, like, we all have the same intention, just, like, run FlatFace and, like, make it work good, like the way FlatFace always has been, just, like, fingerboarding. Like, it's all about fingerboarding. Like, money comes second, fingerboarding first. And the money comes because the boards are good and people like them, and we get to, like,
Well,
do
if you
everything.
focus on what you're doing and the quality of the boards and how
Yeah.
fast you can really get them out and just build the overall quality of the business, the money will come.
Exactly.
You know?
And so people screw up a lot because they see money first and then they see the thing. So they're like, oh, you know what? Like, I've seen this a lot of times. A parent even will see what I'm doing and they'll be like, wow, I'm going to start a fingerboard company with my kid, or maybe even by myself as a parent. Like, oh, I could make that, or I could make this. And they make a whole bunch of them because maybe they have a background in, like, woodworking or something. And then what happens is it sucks. The product's horrible because
'Cause
they don't
know.
fingerboard, or they've been fingerboarding for 6 months, or their kids don't do fingerboards, and it's like they made something half decent, but, like, they're only trying to get money from it, and they don't really care about fingerboarding. So they'll
Exactly.
stick around for, like, 4 or 5 months, and then you never hear from them again because it's like they don't have the passion. So if you have the passion for what you're doing, whether it's fingerboarding or any business, you're going to succeed if you have the passion and you know what you're doing. You're not just doing it for an outcome, but you're doing it because you like it.
The coolest thing, like, thinking about that is I can't name a single fingerboarding company other than Tech Deck that's not, like, Ryder owned. Everything's Ryder owned, pretty much, if you want to put it that way. Everybody's a fingerboarder.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like,
and the ones that aren't are the ones that disappear really fast. Like, they pop up and then they're gone in 6 months. And, yeah.
that's another interesting thing. Like, there's so many companies that have stemmed from social media, Instagram in particular. So many more deck companies and ramp companies. There's like some of them, like I feel like these people should put more time into perfecting the decks before they start selling them.
Yeah.
But like it's really interesting and fascinating how fingerboarding, and I'm sure like all sorts of other hobbies have evolved, especially from Instagram, with Instagram sellers, like the big cartel guys where they make doing the website and then they sell the decks, like everything. I mean, like there's so many companies that are from Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's really cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like any fingerboarder who wants to make boards or make anything and sell them, like if they're just doing it for fun and stuff, like they're just gonna do it and it works and it's really cool. And like people do it on all different scales. Like a few companies, like people that I'm friends with, like Oak Wheels, like that's his full-time job because he makes oak wheels and he pours his heart and soul into it. And he makes oak wheels all day long. And he's been making them for years, so they're really good now. And like he knows what he's doing because he fingerboards and he uses them. He's not just some dude who's like, hey, I'm gonna make wheels and like get a quick buck and then like not know what I'm doing. He's like doing it right. Yeah. And like a lot of people, like especially like I don't know, a few people in the U.S., a few people in Europe, like fingerboarding is their full-time job because they're so passionate about it and they make it work. And then a lot of people do it as like a little side thing too, which is cool.
Yeah, it's super cool. Another thing I noticed was like social media. It seems to me, I mean, there's a lot of people that still, especially on Instagram, which I guess Instagram you could consider it the main platform for like socializing with other fingerboarders now. But like it seems that a lot of people on there, like it's a pretty like small community. Like it's not that big.
Yeah, well, a lot of the older fingerboarders are like, screw Instagram, we're not using that because we're so used to the way it used to be, where it was FFI or whatever forums were big at our time.
I almost think that time was better. Like everybody would actually do edits on YouTube. They used the fingerboarding, like the forums for that stuff, and maybe it's just like nostalgia. But it just seems better to me. No, even though I'm grateful for what Instagram has done for the community, it's like still.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's good things about how it is now and there's good things about how it used to be. And like, I guess people like me and a lot of my friends who fingerboard, we're more of like, we grew up in that era. And so we're just like the old people who don't want to get ahead with like the technology and stuff. But I don't use Instagram that much for fingerboarding. Like, I don't see most of the stuff that's going on. And I like to see it, and it's really fun to see it, but it's just not the way I'm used to, like, doing the whole fingerboard thing. Because, like, for me, it's like YouTube videos is number one. Forums is, like, also number one. Like, that's where I spend all my time. And so now that people are moving off of YouTube and onto Instagram videos, off of forums onto Instagram, like, posts and stuff, it's like, I don't know how to see the things that I would normally go see. So it's like, usually people are like, hey Mike, have you seen this? I'm like, no, let me see. It's not that I don't want to see, it's just like, I don't know how to see it.
Yeah.
You know? It's not in my face. So when I see it, it's really cool because like so many things are going on. Like sometimes a lot of the older dudes are like, hey, fingerboarding's dying. And I'm like, fingerboarding's not dying because I get orders every single day and a lot of them. And I do events and a lot of people go to them. And like I travel to events and a lot of people are at those events. Like there's no decline, but where are you looking? Because on YouTube there's not as many people, and on forums there's nobody. But then on Instagram there's like so many more people than we had on the forums and YouTube combined, because everybody has Instagram.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I guess Instagram's kind of harder to search for things, and like particular too. Like there's hashtags, but those really don't help me at all.
Yeah, it's like you see like who you're following and then who they're following.
Yeah.
And, like sometimes you find really cool stuff, but like I feel like you can miss a lot because you can't just type in like the fingerboard scene and just see everything.
Exactly. There's no real community hub.
Yeah,
I mean it's a hub, but there isn't like an easy method to be able to look find what you're looking for. And then another thing that's kind of a downside is there's so much drama on there. So much drama.
Yeah, I'm so lucky I don't see any of that. But I mean, it was the same on the forums, dude. I remember nights I'd stay up till 4 a.m. like arguing with people, like when I had to go to school the next morning. Like that was always a thing. I feel like that happens in a certain part of any community, of any hobby. Like there's that just happens, and it's more of like how you want to deal with it. Because like when I was younger, especially like building up FlatFace, like I had to defend myself, especially when people would be like, hey, Mike's boards are made in China. I'm like, dude, here's a video of me like in my basement. Check this out. Like I make my boards. I've always made my boards like by hand in my basement. Like there's no China. Like stop spreading lies. And then you have to stay up till 4 a.m. to make sure that everyone knows that person's lying. And it's like there's no time for drama anymore. So now it's like.
And that's such bullshit too. Why would you just say that they're made in China? What the fuck is your game?
Well, I forget who it was. There was some company that came out like maybe 2 years ago or something, and they got like pretty popular, and then they were claiming, oh, I know who it is, but I can't say because wow. Anyways, they were claiming that Berlin woods were made in China, and I've been to Timo's workshop in Germany, and Timo works so hard on boards every day. Like I don't know how. He makes way more boards than I do, and it's incredible. Like, I would have been just done with it by then. And it's like, dude, how are you making that many boards? This is amazing, and they're super, super good. Like, handmade in Germany. No China. Like, get out of here. Like, people are just spreading lies to, like, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he even takes customer orders, like, every day.
That's crazy, yeah.
They seriously.
We're not sleeping. I'm filming an interview.
And it goes silent.
Little interruption.
So talking about community on Instagram and FFI and stuff, scamming is super prominent on Instagram, and it happens all the time. And I think most of the time, there's ways you can protect yourself and not be stupid about it. But a lot of times, people just like don't use the safety precautions that are set up. But what did people get scammed on FFI? Because I wasn't really on there that much. I had an account for a long time. But.
Here and there, but you would get banned if you're a scammer. So if you got to scam someone, like you were out of there real quick because there was no tolerance. It's like you either fix it or you're gone, and everyone will know it.
See, Instagram's such a shitty platform for that. Like, I've seen people get scammed left and right. There's no repercussions. They're there. Nothing happens to their account.
It's not even a place to be selling things. Like I don't know if you're allowed to or not. Like through Instagram rules or whatever. But
probably
like,
not.
In general, you know, it's just like you can just message people and do whatever you want. Like, and nobody's gonna see it. Not like a forum where it's like a little more public.
Yeah.
But.
And if you're going to, don't send it as friends and family. If you're doing PayPal, don't send it as friends and family. Send it as goods and services because you can get your money back.
Yeah, goods and services makes more
sent.
sense. It's just friends and family, you get the money right away.
Yeah, so I don't know, like back in the day I did a lot of trades with people. So I guess I won't use his name either because he came back into the scene and he seems to be cool now. But one dude, basically I traded him everything I owned for a couple things and he scammed me.
Damn.
And I literally lost everything I owned, and this was like probably when I was fingerboarding 3 or 4 years. So that was really, really bad.
Did you?
And dude, the thing was, people didn't like me that much yet. Like some people did. It was like after people stopped hating me, but like it was just like, you know, I was just a user on the forum, just like everyone else, and it shouldn't matter who you are. Like nobody should get scammed. But the point was like, this dude was super popular on there, and so he scammed me, and everyone knew it because I was vocal about it. But nothing happened to this dude.
Yeah, because you're a little guy.
Yeah, because it was just like what if I feel like if I scammed someone, like people wouldn't believe it because I don't scam people. It was that kind of a thing. It was like, oh, that dude's well known. There's no way like he would do anything bad. But like he literally just didn't send my stuff. And then like 5 years later, something ridiculous, he sent me like half of the stuff he owed me, but like not even the good stuff. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe I just got a package from this dude.
At all.
Yeah.
Maybe he just felt a little bit sorry, but not completely sorry. It's like, well, it was his fault, so I'll just give him a little bit.
He thought about it after 5 years. Wow, maybe that was a dick move.
He just kicked the camera.
He did.
But yeah, so, I mean, not everyone gets scammed, but it's very easy to get scammed.
Oh yeah, super easy.
I would recommend, like, instead of trading with, like, someone who you don't know, like, trade with people in person at events if you can, like if there's events in your area, or like trade with someone if you trust them, like maybe ask around like, hey, has anyone traded with this dude, is he cool? Or like
Yeah, people have like refs they build up.
Yeah.
And then the people DM those people and it's like, oh yeah, that guy's good.
Yeah, like, just try to find out and, like, make sure it doesn't seem sketchy. Like, make sure you see the stuff at least. Like, if you ship stuff, use tracking numbers. You can even get insurance for a couple bucks.
Yeah.
Like, if anything happens, like, just try to, like, stay a little safer about it. Like, definitely trade with people because it's super fun, but just be careful. And, like, if you order from, like, a fingerboard company's website, like, you're good. Because, like, websites that are up, like, they're usually legit anyways.
Yeah, like even I there's a couple guys that I trust and I just like, yeah, whatever, I'll ship I'll ship first, you ship whenever, it doesn't matter, I trust you. Like Maze, there's one guy, some laxative that's really chill, like I've traded him before, it's like you're good.
Yeah.
I'll trade you, but
Usually, like, the way it kind of works is, like, if you approach someone, if I'm like, hey, do you want to trade this to me? Or, like, let's say you post a board, I'm like, dude, I want that board, let's trade. Like, I would be expected to send first because I asked you to trade, and then you would, like, because you accepted the trade, when you get the stuff from me, you would send it. But, like, if you were going to scam me, I would be screwed, you know?
Yeah.
But it's like, if I send it with insurance, and then you don't send my stuff.
Or what you can also do is you can make an option for them to sign.
Yeah, you can have, yeah, exactly, like, signed with insurance, and then, like, you might be able to at least get your money back or something. I'm not even sure exactly, but, like, if you do stuff like that, or even if you're trading with someone, tell them that you're sending it, like, signed and insured.
Yeah.
And, like, if they're going to scam you, maybe they'll have second thoughts and be
they'll
like...
back out. And
they'll either
block
back
and
out or they'll do the trade or whatever.
I feel like most of the time it's kids too, because they're thinking it's like, oh, this is an easy way to make a couple bucks. You know, it's over the internet, no repercussions.
Yeah. Oh, if someone scams you and you have their address, you can always, like, I know it's not the greatest thing, but you can contact their parents.
That's
And
very
just
true.
be like, hey, your son owes me $20.
Yeah, send them like a letter addressed to like the parents.
Yeah, like,
dude.
it kind of sucks, but, like, if they're scamming you, they kind of deserve it.
Learn their
But-
fucking
Yeah.
lesson. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, like, don't do anything too bad, but just send
No,
them
like-
a letter, like, hey, your son, like, ripped me off on the internet, like, print out some proof of, like, screenshots of your conversation and what they
Screenshot
said they would send
everything.
you.
If you're not sure about something, screenshot
Yeah.
every conversation.
And the
you
worst
have.
that'll happen is they may not believe you because, like, every parent believes their
Oh,
kid.
my kid wouldn't do that.
Yeah, so that might happen, but sometimes the parents are like, oh yeah, I know my son's not trustworthy, like, I'll get him to, like, help you, like, I'll get something out of him or I'll send the board back or whatever. Like, sometimes you can get your stuff back.
One time
Sometimes.
I bought this stack deck and I traded him like a ramp and trucks for Spitfires and Ventures, like actual skateboard parts. And then I paid him $30 for the truck, the stack deck. So what I should have done is sent money over PayPal, but what I did is I just put it in the package.
Oh.
And it gets to him. It was like a dumb idea. So it gets to him. He calls me. He's like, dude, he gets my number. He gets my number somehow. And he calls me. And I'm like, from California? Why? Who's calling me from California? And I answer. And it's like, oh no, he started leaving a voice message on my home phone being like, I got this, Ethan scammed me, whatever. I'm like, what the heck? Who is this on the voicemail? So I go over, pick it up, I'm talking to him. I'm like, hello? Who is this? How'd you get this number? And it's like, are you the Colettes or whatever? Because that's my last name. And I was talking to I mean, I have it on my Instagram, I think. But he got my number somehow, told me I never sent him $30, and I was like, oh, great. Now this kid has my number, he's saying that I never sent him $30, which I should have sent over PayPal. So
I
there's
can't
at
believe you
least
put the cash in the package.
I put it in a little envelope and
Dude,
taped it to the
Oh,
side.
even worse.
We used to always send cash in mail for everything. Before PayPal was, like, a thing in fingerboarding, like, everything was cash. And, like, if you didn't send things right, or if they didn't send the boards right, like, I've gotten empty envelopes ripped open because they didn't
Me too.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I guess it still happens then.
Yeah, it still happens.
Still happens.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you'll see a picture on Instagram and somebody's envelope is just shredded to bits because they put
And
it.
they
that's
deliver
the name.
that. They just put it in the fucking mailbox.
Yeah, the post office is like,
Here you go.
They put a little bag over it. Sorry,
Yeah,
your package was screwed up.
Dude,
I don't
I've gotten
know.
at least 30
Fuck
of
you.
those in my life.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes kids will send money in the mail and they'll send quarters and stuff, like
Oh,
a lot
God.
of change in a regular envelope. And the thing people don't know is that a regular envelope goes through a mail sorting machine, which is super, super thin and metal, and they have to fly through that, so anything solid just right away gets ripped out and like, doesn't make it through.
And people put Dex in envelopes too. I've seen that.
You
They
have
just
to
smush
use
the
a
Dex.
bubble mailer.
Yeah.
You have to wrap it. Because otherwise it goes through that little machine that just squeezes it super tight and it barely fits through and everything gets lost.
One kid that I created with actually does this pretty cool thing. He takes the envelope, usually it's one of the bigger like business size ones or whatever, wraps it in packing tape, super thick, then puts bubble wrap in the inside.
Yeah,
and then that
Just
works really
pack
well.
it to hell so they can't get in. And if they do,
Well, usually like when you wrap it up with, and you don't put stamps on it, whatever, and you wrap it up with, packing tape, it looks like a bubble mailer, but that's one way of doing it. I haven't had, actually no, I ordered wheels one time. They didn't fall out, but the guy sent them in an envelope.
he sent them in a bag.
Yeah, no, that was a different time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just got ripped open. I was like, oh, I hope they're in here. I would have been fine if they weren't in there because they were really terrible. Yeah, but I think that's like the end of our list.
I think it is. I think we've gone through everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Cool. That was an amazing interview. Thank you guys.
It was like, yeah, thanks for accepting to be on and showing interest. It's really cool.
Yeah, dude, of course. And I'm going to make sure a lot of people see this.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be fun
that's
to
awesome.
type, dude.
Exposure. We only use you for the views, dude.
We're milking you.
All right, I'm Max. I'm Max. I don't know why I said that.
Great, now people are gonna get us even more confused.
Okay, I'm Ethan.
I'm Max.
I'm Mike.
You're Max?
I'm Mike.
Oh,
And welcome.
Max.
Welcome to the end of this video.
Yeah, I don't know where this is going. All right.
Hey.
Yeah,
Good night.
thanks for listening. That's pretty good.